Hey Limitless Nation, today you are in for a real treat. You get to learn directly from Jeff Harding. Jeff Harding is an internet marketing genius, as well as a leader for individuals to clear away the barriers to living their life through a truly free mind. The Turbo Lifestyle. The lifestyle that has taken him out of disempowering beliefs that previously destroyed his life, to how he attracted into his life the love of his life, business relationships, improved health, and business opportunities. Jeff lives with his wife in Hawaii, where they express the aloha spirit in all relationships, including business. In today's masterclass, you're going to learn directly from the one and only Jeff Harding. Let's dive into it.
Well, before you dive into today's masterclass session, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. It allows you to receive notification bell every single time we have uploaded a new video and showing you how to live a limitless life. Now, if you want to dig deeper on what you need to do to hunt your future, make sure you watch the interview that I've done with Donna Vaughn at huntyourfuture.com. It will show you how you can hunt your future on every aspect of your being. Plus, you're going to receive tips and secrets on what you need to do to tackle your days on a regular basis. Now, let's dive into today's masterclass sessions.
Welcome, Jeff Harding.
Donovan, it's good to see you. Good to hear you. I appreciate the time you're spending with me.
Absolutely. So tell us, is there anything about yourself that we did not mention in the bio that you would like to share with the Limitless Nation?
I just like to share the aloha spirit with everyone as well. So hopefully we can kind of get that in there as well. Maybe we'll talk about it, maybe not, but at least you can look it up.
Absolutely. Now, here at the Limitless Nation, we have a tradition of starting every interview out with a quote. Do you have a quote or perhaps mantra that you live in your life?
Absolutely. I mean, there's several, but the one I'm thinking of is Nana Ike Kumu. Does that mean anything? Okay. What that means in Hawaiian is look to the source. For me, the way I look at that is when I have an issue with a barrier, I look to the source of the barrier. You know, not just to put a Band-Aid or heal a symptom or something, but to actually look to the source and heal that, correct it, however you want to look at that. And then when I'm clear and I'm feeling in with the flow, if you will, then I, again, Nana Ike Kumo, I look to my greatest source, my true self, if you will.
Okay. Now, in going through some difficulties where you've had to use that quote, what are some challenges that you've had to overcome in your business life to get to where you are now?
Well, I think the greatest one was losing my last job, all right? So ever since that, I've been unemployed for 25 years or more, basically. I mention that sometimes when, like my older daughter, someone will ask me, what do you do? And I'll say, I'm unemployed. She goes, Dad, you're not unemployed, you're self-employed. Anyway, I was forced at that moment to begin looking outside that 9-to-5 corporate work and actually look within myself and Nana Ike Kumu, look to the source of why was I doing these jobs that I really didn't like. I mean, I found some joy here and there and I learned some skills, but it just didn't seem right for me. So it was a setback in terms of my perception previously, and that perception was disempowering. It definitely wasn't limitless. Okay, there was a lot of limit. It included getting laid off, sending out 100 resumes, and this is a time when you had to do it, you know, in writing. You didn't have the internet. You know, I'm a little older. I graduated high school more than 2 years ago. Anyway, so it was a mindset of unempowering decisions and paths, etc., and it basically forced me out of there and to look for a new path and look within for that new path. So I started looking at, again, Nana Ike Kumu, to the source of the truth of who I am, not just who, but what am I.
Okay. And in your, I'm going to say, journey and looking in towards yourself, was there a specific, we call it an aha moment, that everything just changed for you?
Yeah, it actually wasn't immediately back then. It took me a while to let go of the previous thoughts, that I call it mind model or mentality, to let that go. And the moment was, number one, it wasn't some Hollywood moment. You know, there was no soundtrack going, you know, nothing fancy or anything, no special lighting. But I was I would do biking at the time up hills, really steep hills where you're like second gear and you're still standing up. And I'd go to the top of the hill and ride around. And this is a time when I spent a lot of time alone finally, which I hadn't done for a long time, and did some meditation. And suddenly there was this feeling, this connection within, a peace peacefulness, a fullness. Again, no fanfare or anything going on here. And at that moment, I knew there was a resource within my mind, within myself. Nothing has nothing to do with the outside whatsoever in terms of the source. And I began to explore that, clear away the past memories, the perceptions, their limitations and whatnot. And suddenly I began to be opening up more to abundance. My wife showed up in my life not too long after that. My relationships with my children and other people improved dramatically. My health, while it wasn't terrible at the time, it improved. All right. I sensed that my body wasn't deteriorating like it was, albeit, slowly. And business opportunities flourished. All of a sudden they started popping up, and it just keeps expanding more and more from there. So that was kind of that moment where I found my connection, which I don't think anybody can ever train me to do, but I was able to do in that moment. And it kind of was the tipping point when things started moving, like you said, on that path with a lot more ease and success, if you will.
Right. Now, you just mentioned that after that particular moment, things just started going up like no tomorrow. With you being a very busy individual and a very successful individual, what are you working on right now?
Hope you enjoyed the masterclass session so far. Before we get into the second half of the session itself, it is very crucial for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I really don't want you to miss out on another masterclass where I'm going to share with you what other expert celebrities, Fortune 5000 companies do to become successful and live a limitless life. So make sure you subscribe right now, and every single time we upload a new video, you will receive a notification bell. This allows you to enjoy the masterclass on the regular basis. So make sure you subscribe right now. Well, as you are ready, let's get into the second half of the masterclass session.
Integration of the business practical side, as well as knowing and expanding your mind, like I just mentioned, including really knowing who and what you are. So those are the areas, and this is a subject or an area where I've been, if you will. So it's an area where I know a lot of people, because I know when I first started, it was like I didn't know what to do. I mean, I read a lot of books, okay, but it all it happened naturally, I guess, in a way. But if I can give people some clues, and help them on that path, and that's part of what we do, all the better. And that's what we're trying to do in these various ventures. I would call them joint ventures more than anything.
Now, in your, I'm going to say, journey to where you are right now, was there anything that was like holding you back from all of this peace that you now experience in your life?
Well, the short answer is me. There was nothing or no one else holding me back. And I know we like to look on the outside and go, well, I could have if this person or that event hadn't, those kind of excuses, if you will. And that's, another, not so much an event, but a period of time for me, talking a couple decades. Like I said, I've been out of high school more than a couple of years. I went through 2.5 divorces, okay? And you're probably thinking, 2.5? What's the half, Well, the third one, we weren't married, but might as well have been, the emotion and the finances. Okay. So at that moment, that was, I guess, another aha. Ahas, I believe, at least for me, are more than one, okay? There's, it never ending, if you will. So in that moment, I looked at myself, I looked at the relationships, and I realized, you know what? In the past, I'd say, well, she did, and I, all these kind of things, all these kind of excuses. And I looked at myself and I said, there's only one common denominator in those 2.5 or 3. And that was me. So I started looking at, okay, Nana Ike Kumo, what's the source of this? Why do I keep doing this negative pattern, if you will, disempowering pattern? And I started clearing and correcting those old beliefs and thoughts and emotions, and it opened up a huge world.
That's amazing. Now, in what you just said, you started clearing all of that up. Part of clearing that up would be, I'm sure, instilling habits into your life, correct?
Well, not instilling, and that's why when you say what's holding me back from being limitless, one of the things was I was always pushing, instill happiness, I need money, get money, I need a relationship, get a relationship, those kind of things. I stopped pushing. Doesn't mean I'm not open to the opportunity, the changes. More than happy to. Okay. But I stopped pushing like, oh, I got to have it now, or I got to have it next week, or any of those aspects. Started to relax into it and move with the flow rather than trying to, swim upstream and whatnot. So that's one of the things that opened up more abundance to me, was being able to relax, being able to be at peace. And again, success without peace, well, let me put it another way, accomplishment in any way without peace of mind, to me is not success. They have to go hand in hand. And it doesn't mean you can't work, let's say, like I was up till 3 a.m., which I rarely do now, but I was up to 3 a.m. because I wanted to finish something, and I'm fine. I'm fine. I was at peace with it because it went with the flow.
Now, in going with the flow, you have
obviously helped a very large amount of people, and I'm sure you've had a lot of people impact your life. Do you have any advice, a single bit of wisdom that you can pass on to the Limitless Nation that you have received in your life?
Yeah, bear with me. I have three, and I'll do them real quick. Is that okay?
Go for it.
It's hard for me to chunk it down into one, so let me give you three. Okay, right? Number one, never give up. Number two, never give up. Number three, never give up. And what I mean by that is, as I was transitioning from that corporate mentality over to an entrepreneur or self-employed or however you want to refer to that, I just never gave up. I kept at it. And I think my father once said that to me, and he's a little bit older. He's 4 years out of high school. He says, I don't know if I could be that persistent. I don't know if I could do that. And at that time, it just felt like, I don't know any other way. I got to keep at this because it's where I ought to be. It's right. And so that's the best advice. If anything, use your will to keep finding the truth of who and what you are. And what I mean by who and what, not just who you are and those kind of aspects that people talk about, but what are you? Are you a little creature crawling around on this rock hurling through space, an animal, if you will? Or are you something greater? Maybe something infinite. Explore. Be willing. See what happens.
Keep an open mind and never quit. I like it. And in keeping an open mind, as you've said before, you read an awful lot of books. Do you have a singular book that you can recommend to the Limitless Nation that has had the most impact on your life?
I'm going to go off the conversation path a little, just moving toward one of my partners, John Delavera, and some of the writings that he has, the Delaverian Code, cult marketing, those kind of things. And he has others, of course, centralization regarding aloha. So I would go in that direction, just to give a little business taste here as well, so that we mix it up a little philosophy, a little mind, and a little business. So I'd go in that direction.
John Delavera is actually a very, very good speaker. He's a very good author and a very good friend of mine. I do recommend any of his works.
Very good. I agree.
Now, do you have a resource that you've used to help you find peace on this journey that you've had so far?
One of the ones, like I said, one of my number one priority in life, it's not my relationship, finances, business, success, those kind of things. It's clean and clear my mind. Okay. It's not my health either. Without your health, you can't have anything else. It's none of those. It's clean and clear my mind. That's number one, because when I clean and clear my mind, what I mean by that is I'm connected with my greatest resource within my mind. When I'm connected to that, the health comes easy and I get inspiration on changes in my, say, how I'm eating and how I'm exercising and things like that. Business opportunities pop up and just out of nowhere. It's like my wife likes, some people would call luck, and I'm okay being lucky, by the way, but they might call it a coincidence, but she calls it a God instance. Okay. Anyway, these things just pop up, right? And then I had that relationship with that true self, those higher resources. And so cleaning and clearing my mind is number one important, and the relationships get better as well. So one of the things that I use is PSTEC, which is PSTEC, for percussive suggestion technique. So I'm also a partner on that as well. And what that does is clear emotions out of the way, change beliefs, reduce negative ones, install positive ones if you wish. So that's also going to become a part of Turbo Lifestyle, which with John Delavera, and helping people along that road with their mind and clearing things so that they have the freedom, the free mind to be able to choose and make the decisions that are best for them and those around them.
Okay. Now, where can the Limitless Nation go to learn more about this Turbo Lifestyle that you have just mentioned?
Turbo Lifestyle, TURBO Lifestyle, all strung together.com.
TurboLifestyle.com.
Bingo. I mean, not .com bingo, just forget the bingo, just turbolifestyle.com.
All right, there you go, guys. I highly recommend checking out that website, turbolifestyle.com.
A little bit of John and other people as we expand that as well. So a lot of help.
Now, in living this turbo lifestyle, let's take a step back. Let's say if you had to start all over again, and I think we already touched a little bit on this, but if you had to start all over again, perhaps from the most difficult spot in your life, is there anything that you would have done differently to get to the limitless life that you're living now faster?
It's an interesting question because, number one, I don't have any regret. And I realize the areas where I have expanded within my mind, they're not just due to the solution, but due to my response or the solution to the problems or the barriers and because the solutions come with those. So my mistakes, my challenges, all of that were the catalyst to the expansion of my mind. So like I said, I don't have a desire to go back and do over because I don't see a need. But with that said, I would certainly shorten the learning curves and avoid a lot of the pitfalls if I knew then what I knew now, meaning accessing the higher mind resources and being at peace at the same time with others. One of the ways that I do that more and more, not just a daily basis or an hourly, or I tried to do it minute by minute, not perfect at that, okay, is accessing that part, that higher self, asking permission, if you will. Hey, I'm thinking of doing this. Is this the right thing to do for me and those involved? So not being that lone wolf that says, I'm gonna do this. I can do it because I got to prove it to myself or prove it to someone else. Those kind of reasons. But checking in with that higher self, and you have to establish that relationship, however you do it, and everybody does it different. But checking in, and I think a great illustration is usually people check in, if you will, or they pray to God, right, when things are really bad and say, "Oh, please fix this."
Right.
But I like to check in and practice checking in. Like anything, it's something you got to practice. You got to do to get good at it, if you will, and get your mind used to doing it. But checking in on the smallest thing. Hey, I was thinking of going down to Kailua Kona. Should I take the upper road or the lower road? Which one should I take? It feels like the upper road this time. I'll take that road. See what happens. Who knows? So that's what I would do. Number one is be able to check in with that higher consciousness, true self, as I like to call it. When I do, everything else becomes easy.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, would you tell us how the Limitless Nation listeners and perhaps viewers can get in contact with you, Jeff, and see what you got going on?
We mentioned turbolifestyle.com. There's also jeffharding.me, jeffharding.me, which will probably lead you to a lot of Turbo Lifestyle, etc. as well. Is it just a website, or are you looking for anything else?
Any way that you want the Limitless Nation to contact you or just learn more about who you are and what you got going on.
Okay. Yeah, jeffharding.me will be more personalized, but in Turbo Lifestyle, you can probably reach me through there as well. But either or, you'll find me, or ask around, you'll find me.
Absolutely.
Or I may find you.
Who knows? It's just how the flow goes.
Be open to it.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you, Donovan. I appreciate your time and having me on.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sure the Limitless Nation has been inspired by your story. I know that I certainly have been. Until next time, this is Donovan saying stay limitless.
Aloha.
Well, that's a wrap. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the word subscribe. And if you want to go deeper on learning on what you need to do to hunt your future, make sure you watch the interview that I've done with Donovan on what you need to do to hunt your future on every aspect of your being. This allows you to live a limitless life on every aspect of your life, starting from today's forward. Plus, you are going to receive tips and tricks on what you need to do to tackle your day, tackle your challenges on every situation, every single time. So go ahead and download it right now. And until then, stay limitless forever.